Hey, what's up, guys? Jeremy here with part two of this video. I apologize that we got cut off there during the first video, but I did want to come back in and wrap up these last couple of slides right where we left off. So, a little note about feedback. No matter what you do, no matter what level of success you do or don't achieve, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. People are going to have an opinion about it. All right, period. Even if they don't express it, they're going to be thinking it. That's just kind of how we're wired, right? As human beings, we judge and we create opinions, we formulate opinions. Okay, so now knowing that, the question becomes whose opinions are we going to choose to let in and receive, right? Whose feedback will we decide to pay attention to? And the reason we need some sort of system for monitoring this is because otherwise, we'll spend all our damn time just listening to other people's opinions and feedback. We'll never get anything done. So we do need to have some sort of filtration system for determining what feedback we can trust in the most, what feedback we feel will help us the most, and what we need to cut out and basically ignore or filter out. Excuse me. So, in my opinion, there's really only a couple of groups of people that have earned the right to have you legitimately receive and process their feedback. And those are your family, some of your friends and mentors, and those that are monetarily invested in you, right? Or it says monetarily there, but in parentheses, stakeholders. So, I would say, monetarily or even, emotionally, or really anyone who's invested in you regardless, right? I would say they have the right to give you feedback, right? So in other words, really only those that truly care about you and they're invested in you, again, financially or emotionally, okay? And I like this little quote at the bottom by a gal named Camille Rose Solar, she's the founder of the Ultimate Life coaching program. She says, other people's opinion of you is none of your business. I thought that was great. Now, one thing to keep in mind here, firstly, this list is not in order, all right? In fact, for me, it's actually in reverse order. Okay, so personally, I place a very high value on those that are monetarily invested in me because either one, I have seeked them out, or two, they have seeked me out in order to create some sort of a mentoring relationship, and we both have some skin in the game. All right, so I know that we have mutually aligned goals. We're both moving in the same direction, and we've put our money where our mouth is, right? So I know that I can process that feedback, and it's going to be, at least in their mind, it's going to be honest and accurate from the way they see things. All right, and then I can make a decision based on that information. Also, these people, they've been vetted by me, and I have determined that they are worthy of my time or money, and therefore I'm willing to openly receive their feedback. Okay, so again, this list is not necessarily in order, right? So family's not vetted, right? You just get your family; they just are who they are. But they might not have the same skills or the same mindsets or the same dreams that you have. They might not understand the way that you think or what drives you, or they might not understand your why. Right? You still love them, of course, because they're family, but you might not always receive their feedback the same way you would a respected mentor. And again, my parents are a great example. When I first told my mom I was going to open a business, the first thing she did was warn me about how most businesses fail. My dad, he's a classic example. Man, I can't tell you how many times I heard as a child my dad saying, these stories that ran in his head for decades about how you got to have money to make money, and it's better to be lucky than good, and it's these types of mindsets where it's no wonder that he was never able to kind of break out of the matrix, if you will, and kind of break through and experience a life of abundance for himself, right? So as much as I love my dad and I love my mom, there's no way in hell I would come to them for business advice. In fact, they're probably two of the last people I would come to. Just because, even though they love me, they're going to automatically go to this protective mode where, in their mind and in their world, business is very dangerous. And in the world of financial success and abundance and building wealth, this is something that they don't really understand. It's very scary to them, and so they're going to try to protect me and by keeping me away from that the same way that they have, right? Because it's unknown to them, right? So their intentions are good, but I just have to kind of filter that in order to make progress towards my dreams and goals, right? So another thing to remember is it's really important, just kind of remembering here that listening and processing feedback, it does not mean agreeing, right? And it definitely doesn't mean doing what other people say. All right, all it means is taking the time to listen, because at the very least you know that they truly care, and they're not just trying to break you down because they feel bad about themselves, right? Or they're not trying to, they don't feel threatened or internally pissed off, if you will, that you're achieving your goals even though they've given up on theirs, right? These are people that you can trust their feedback. Even if you disagree with it, you know that it comes from a good place, okay? And that's worth hearing, right? Again, you might not go, make a decision based on that, but gathering as much, valuable and truthful feedback as possible is going to be really important. Now, we can sometimes have friends and family that do break us down, though. Again, it's probably not, going to be evil or anything like that. Like in my parents' case, they might have great intentions, but it still might not be moving us towards the goal, right? And this just kind of goes back to what we talked about when deciding who we're going to surround ourselves with or who we're going to spend time with. Right? So just kind of something to be aware of, right? When we talk about everything that moves us towards our goals, that includes people. And that's just kind of the hard truth, right? And there's some people that, we can love and honor and respect and love them for who they are and support them. But they just might not have a place in certain areas of our lives, right? Specifically when we're trying to surround ourselves with the type of people that are achieving the type of success that we want. All right, so important to remember, sorry guys, happiness does not equal fulfillment. All right, Tony Robbins, one of my favorite quotes from Tony Robbins is, success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure, right? So one of the biggest and most important lessons you can learn is to never listen to your emotions. All right, they will lie to you. They will trick you. They can be weak, right? They can be fleeting. They can be impulsive, right? Remember that you're not your emotions, right? You have the choice to listen to them or to not listen to them. Okay, and the key comes down to just never sacrificing what you want most. And this is why we write out our why and our 10-year goals and our 5-year goals and our 3 and our 1-year goals, right? And our why. Why are we doing this? What's the bigger reason? This is what we want most compared to what we want in the moment, right? Because again, our emotions are when we have a long day at work, we might come home and feel like, hey, I deserve to take tonight off from my vision. I deserve to take tonight off from my goals, right? Or we might splurge in one area or another, or right? And as soon as we do that, we kind of open that window, right? We have that one Dr. Pepper or that one beer, even when we've decided that we're giving up beer or whatever it might be, right? In that moment, we're allowing our emotions to take over what the big picture is, right? What that goal is, okay? Again, a perfect example for myself. I do not enjoy waking up early to go to the gym, right? Every time I wake up in the morning, I say I'm the type of person that is at the gym before 5 a.m., right? So I'm there no later than 4:59 in the morning. And I hate it. I'd be lying to you if I said I liked it. But every time when I wake up in the morning, I have to remember I've already planned out. I already know what it takes to achieve success. And by not going to the gym at that time, it screws everything else up and it throws me off my plan, right? So what I want in the moment to sleep, it's not getting me closer to what I want most in this life. All right. Again, I also don't enjoy eating salads and grilled chicken. I like chicken wings and beer, just to be completely honest with you. That's just what I like. It's who doesn't like it, right? It's delicious. There's something wrong with you if you don't like chicken wings and beer, right? But again, is that getting me closer to what I want? Absolutely not. I've got financial goals. I've got body goals, right? A certain way I want to look, a certain way I want to feel. And chicken wings and beer do not move me closer to that. All right, so it becomes an easy elimination, even when I do want that. Okay, another thing, I don't enjoy staying up until midnight doing PowerPoint slides. Right, so preparing, all these slides for this This is just week one, and we're going to go over 50 slides deep. Um, I don't, as much as I get excited about delivering this content to you guys and excited about what it's going to mean to you guys, the actual act of staying up until midnight, pounding on a keyboard, and researching different concepts and putting, all my thoughts down, like that's not something, that I enjoy in the moment, right? But what I want most is to have an impact on business owners and entrepreneurs, and help martial arts school owners and small gym owners absolutely crush and dominate the ones that are willing to invest in themselves. I want to invest in them, right? So what do? I stay up late even when I'm tired, right? Because that's what I want most. Okay. And that's it, guys. That's what it takes, right? You just have to choose to take the action and put in the time because, on the other side of that is the reward that you seek. Okay. So how to stay motivated, okay? First, understand that we all lose motivation, okay? We all lose motivation, period. Even the most successful people in the world, the more I study this and the more I learn about it, I realize that I'm convinced that most people are actually lazy, inherently lazy, right? And it's a battle. All it comes down to is the ones that can create this pattern and this habit of self-discipline that actually make it, right? But as humans, we seek comfort. We seek warmth and full bellies, and we like to turn our brains off and sit on the couch and watch TV. Like, we gravitate towards that, right? The path of least resistance. We've heard all these things before, right? That's just our human nature, okay? Now, it doesn't make it bad. It's not, and this isn't universal, right? But I've just seen it over and over and over again, and even highly successful people that accomplish amazing things, they still say that it's a battle. Like, they still have to fight their natural instinct. They still have to have this conversation in their mind, and like that little voice that says, hey, today, just take today off. It never seems to go away, right? So what that means is that it's up to us to control our state of mind. Okay, and here's how you do it. Right? So for me, when I wake up every morning, as soon as I turn off my alarm, I look at my goals and outcomes. Right? So I keep my alarm across the room from me, right? So I literally have to physically get out of bed in order to shut it off. Then I shut it off, right? And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm fucking grumpy. I never wake up all peppy and like happy and annoying. Like, that's never me, right? I'm grumpy. I don't want to be up. But I look at my goals and outcomes and I remind myself, here's why you're up, right? Here's why you're up. Don't be a punk. This is why you're up. Don't give in to what you want right now. All right, and I have them everywhere. My goals and outcomes. I have them at home. I have them in my office. I have them in my journal. I have them in my. I write them sometimes just in the cover of the book that I'm reading. So if I don't feel like reading, I open up the cover. There's my goal. I say, all right, cool. Let's do this. Let's read a chapter today. Right, and I just set up my environment to remind me of those outcomes constantly, so I can never have the excuse of like kind of slipping back and forgetting what this is all about. And then for me, excuse me, guys, if I ever feel an afternoon burnout, I just review my goals. I look to my affirmations and my personal power statements, which we're going to talk about next week. And then I do 1 to 2 minutes of physical activity. And this just comes from, Tony Robbins talks about this a lot. Your psychology mirrors your physiology, right? So if you get your heart rate up and you get your blood kind of pumping, splash some cold water on yourself, on your face, and do a couple of burpees in your office, or do a couple of, do 5 push-ups, 5 squats, and a couple of burpees, and like, you will be awake, right? You will give yourself that little sudden jolt, right? And that works for me. And so the reason we need to create an environment and to surround ourselves with things that motivate us is because the average person sees 25,000 negative things a day versus only 2,000 positive, right? So you must intentionally, that's the key word, intentionally seek out positivity and inspiration, right? You almost have to kind of insulate yourself from negativity. All right, and a cool little quote on the bottom from the famous Zig Ziglar, motivation does not last, but neither does bathing, and that's why we need it daily. All right, so yeah, and for some people, you do have to just take it day by day. Sometimes it's just hour by hour, right? I know for me, I need this multiple times per day, right? It's not my choice to lose motivation. That just kind of happens. But it is my choice to either stay in that unmotivated state or to put myself back into a motivated state, which I do know how to do, and I am aware that it works, right? So then it just becomes my choice on whether or not to do that. Okay. So here's the number one way to stay motivated. Just take action, right? In order to increase motivation, take action. That's it. Just do something, right? Do one thing, and that will build the motivation, right? Once you start to see a little result, that's why you guys have probably heard the quote, success breeds success, right? Or winners keep winning, losers keep losing, or winning is a habit, right? Because once you get a little taste of it, you want it again, and then you want it again, and then you want it again, and you just want to keep getting that, right? So take action, get a small win, get a small victory, and that will motivate you to do the next thing. I promise you. Right? A lot of people think it's in reverse, right? I need to get motivated, and then I'm going to do something, right? Once I get motivated, I'm really gonna turn this life around, right? Or turn this business around, or do what I need to do. No, that's not how it works. It goes the other way, right? Action first, and that will create the motivation that you need. All right, so here's a cool little secret of the successful. Okay, we're going to wrap up these last couple slides here. Tony Robbins teaches this. Okay, the most successful people turn their should list into a must list. All right, so here's an exercise you guys can do: is just write out all the things you know that you should be doing daily, weekly, monthly, etc. Right? Personally, as far as your personal development, and also as far as your business goes. All the things to create the life that you truly want and deserve, right? And once this is done, all you have to do is cross out should and write must. Okay, what this does is it's just hardwiring your brain, right? You're just kind of crossing the wires, right? And it forces your brain to further commit to this action, right? And so when we're talking about what the difference is between a should and a must, when we should do something, it shows that we're just interested, right? But once it becomes a must, it becomes a non-negotiable agreement with ourselves that we absolutely have to complete, right? I must do this, okay? And so to create success in any part of our lives, we must set up internal agreements with ourselves, okay? So we have to make internal commitments, these internal agreements. Again, and I keep referring back to, me getting up out of bed. Again, when I first started doing this, it was an absolute nightmare, right? Even though I don't like it now, I do get empowered every time I do it, because I know that I can set my mind to doing something that I hate doing, and I can still get it done, right? And that gives me confidence, knowing that I have the discipline to get that done, right? That gives me the confidence to make a commitment, knowing that when I commit to something, it will happen, right? And that's very powerful, and that just comes from creating an internal agreement with yourself. Okay, so here's another cool thing. So for staying motivated, setting uneasy goals, or I've also heard of this referred to as setting an impossible goal, right? And to set an impossible goal, what that means is when you set, let's say you set a 90-day goal, right? You set your quarterly goal, and you set it to where it's impossible, okay? And what that means is it's not impossible to achieve the goal in 90 days. It means it's impossible to achieve as you currently are. Right? So it means you as a person are going to have to grow. You're going to have to expand. You're going to have to increase your skill sets. You're going to have to acquire new knowledge, information, right? New perspective. Okay, so for example, a really easy example for this is just to say, let's say I want to squat 350 pounds. Well, let's say if that was my goal for 90 days from now, I want to squat 350 pounds. Well, currently, that's impossible. I can't do that, right? I can only squat 325 pounds. Okay, now let's go ahead and take away the whole, superhuman strength and in certain situations, and, the whole fable about the mother who lifts the car to save her child, right? So, we're talking about possible versus impossible, right? Let's kind of eliminate, that part for the sake of this conversation. Right? Let's just say that, hey, right now I know that my single rep squat is 325 pounds. I can't squat 350, but in 90 days, it could be possible, right? If I set a 90-day plan, I follow the plan, right? And I increase, what is that, 8 pounds a month, right? In that case, I could do it. Okay, so never allow yourself to be satisfied. Set goals so big that you have to grow and develop your skills to an entirely new level in order to accomplish them, right? And then you just reverse engineer the process. Okay, so once again, we start with our big lifetime goals, and we're always reassessing these. These are always written in pencil, right? So they can be kind of erased or crossed out and rewritten, okay? We pull that back into a 10-year goal. Then we pull that back into a 5-year goal, right? And then we pull that back into a 3 and a 1. And the 1-year goal needs to align with the 3. And the 3-year goal needs to align with the 5, right? Which aligns with the 10, etc. We pull these all the way back into, how do I just win today? What do I do today to win the day? All right. And then what we like to do, and what we're going to teach you guys next week, is that we just set goals in 90-day increments. Okay, and these are designed to do two things. One, they align with your 1, 3, 5, 10-year goals, and they should be moving you closer to those goals. And two, this is important, they make you a little bit uneasy. Okay, so they're realistic, but they're uneasy, right? So you might kind of just say to yourself, how am I going to pull this off, right? This is a stretch. This is going to stretch me. So for example, if my squat's 325, to set a 90-day goal of 330, that's not really a huge stretch, right? I could definitely do that. Really any knucklehead that can squat 325 could get to 330 in 90 days, right? So that's not really going to make me uneasy. That's not going to make me question, like, hey, I really need to put some work in to get this done. I need to become a new person, right? So we want to set a goal. Same thing in your business, right? If you're talking about, achieving a certain benchmark, it should be one that says, that makes you say, oh, okay, oh boy, I'm going to really have to be on my shit to get this done. And I'm going to have to be very focused and have a very clear plan and know exactly what I'm doing. And everyone around me is going to have to know what I'm up to because I'm going to have to make some difficult decisions, and I'm going to have to make some sacrifices in order to pull this off. And it's important that everybody supports me in this, so I'm not being tempted to veer off course, right? It should be a goal that makes you have that conversation with yourself. Okay? All right, so continued. In other words, the person you are today is not enough to accomplish that 90-day goal, right? You must become that person that's capable of accomplishing these goals. You must develop the mindsets and the skill sets each 90 days to accomplish these goals, right? And you can imagine the impact if every 90 days you're acquiring new skills, new mindsets, new physical capabilities, new leadership skills, new marketing skills, new sales skills, developing your systems to be better and better and better each 90 days. You guys can really start to imagine the power and the impact of the momentum that this builds over time when you do it consistently. Right? So in this way, you grow as a person, as a leader, as a business person, as an entrepreneur, a husband, wife, parent, spiritual leader, whatever it is that's important to you that you've decided to focus on. When you really focus, when you set these 90-day goals, you should be a new person 90 days from now. A better person, a person that dominates the person you are now in these areas that you've set these goals. Okay? Another thing is that this also prevents us from the very dangerous mindset of saying, I have plenty of time. Okay, so this is partly why we create the lifetime study model, which helps with this. But this whole I have plenty of time, this is like an age-old trick from the brain to get us to procrastinate, right? If we set goals that make us a little bit uneasy, then we're going to feel like internally we're going to have this kind of like little internal clock that says, hey, we don't have time to waste, right? If I'm trying to go from 325-pound squat to a 350, I cannot miss a workout, right? I have to get my squat session in here because I know that's a jump that I'm going to have to stay really focused on. But if I'm trying to go from 325 to 330, I could probably miss one, make it up tomorrow, get an extra set in here or there. Not a huge deal. I'll still be able to hit my target. Okay, so this will keep us from procrastinating, and it'll just keep us focused on our personal growth, our progress toward our goal, because we know that if we don't stay focused, we're probably not going to hit it because it's impossible for us as we currently are as a person. Okay, next thing we're going to touch on here, and we're almost done, is gratitude. So inside of this conversation of always seeking more and striving to accomplish more and to build and to create, more value and positivity in the marketplace and for those people that are important to us, it's very important to remain grateful for what we do have, okay? And this is a really fine line. It's a really fine line to walk here, and it's one that I still continually find myself on each side of it, and really, have to work hard to make sure that I'm making it a priority, and that I'm not losing sight of everything that I have to be grateful for. Right? We're all in the top 1% of the world when it comes to lifestyle currently. Right? Even if we never did any better than we currently have achieved, we're in the top 1% of the world, right? And it's important to not forget that. This keeps us in alignment, it keeps us centered, and it ensures that we remain fulfilled during the journey of achieving success. Okay, so success is getting what you want, and happiness is wanting what you have. Okay, again, the reason for this, like, there's nothing more, what's the word, baffling, right? Maybe tragic, than seeing someone who's spent their life achieving all the wealth in the world, and building a ton of wealth and financial success, and still being miserable and unfulfilled, right? And I have met people like this, and at first it was baffling to me, but now I really understand it. And I think it comes back to this. And so what I encourage you guys to do is practice the daily exercise of just writing down what you're grateful for each morning. Okay, just take 3 minutes, write down 3 things you're grateful for and why. Okay, and go deep, right? So a shallow gratitude is a lack of commitment, right? It's not really being grateful, right? So like saying, hey, I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for my house, I'm grateful for my dog, right? And just kind of like doing that every day, right? You can do that, but it's gonna get shallow. It's gonna kind of just become a routine, and it's gonna lose the effect, right? So really go deep and make it. It can literally be about anything, right? You could be like, I'm grateful for my sheets because they are so comfortable and they allow me to get really high quality sleep, which then allows me to wake up in the morning, feel energized, feel amazing, so I can go out and dominate my day and crush my goals. That's why I'm grateful for my sheets, right? Or I'm grateful for peanut butter because peanut butter goes so great on bananas and on crackers, and it's a nice little source of protein and fat, which for me, because I love candy or whatever, I can have some peanut butter instead, and so it kind of satisfies me, but it also has some nutritional value, and so I'm super grateful for that because it helps me, work towards my goals of having the body that I want and the energy that I want, without, letting that spin out of control, right? So I'm super grateful for peanut butter. So something like that, right? And these are just examples. Of course, the really important ones. I'm grateful for, parents or individual people, right? You could definitely go deep on those too, but they don't have to be those. It's just important to remember what we have, because even silly things like nice sheets of peanut butter, there's a lot, like billions with the B, billions of people that don't have these things, right? So as we're really focused on what it is that we're striving for, it's just important to remember like what we have around us as well. Okay. So a couple more examples of gratitude, right? And I'll just kind of, I won't go through all these. You can just kind of freeze the video if you want to go through them, but I'm grateful for this software platform. I'm grateful for Donovan, right? Here's what I'll read. I'm grateful for Donovan because he's really strong in some areas where I'm weak. Without him, I would not be able to create and build some of the amazing things I have been able to participate in creating, right? So I can kind of go in individual. I can go with the weather. Here's a different reason I'm grateful for the weather, right? It doesn't matter. Just pick a couple of things. And what it does is it forces you to put yourself into a mindset of gratitude and abundance immediately to start the day. Okay, that's the point. Just train your brain to want what you currently have while still striving for more. Okay, that's the point of the exercise. And the reason is so you're not just chasing a moving target for the rest of your life, right? I think that's what happens to the people that find tons of financial successes. They think that once I achieve X, then I will be happy and fulfilled. Well, what happens is they achieve X, and then they say, well, once I achieve Y, now that I got to X, it's not what I thought it would be. So I think what I need to do now is achieve Y. And then I will be happy and fulfilled. And then they work really hard, make all these sacrifices. They achieve Y, which is even more money and more success and more accomplishment. And then they get to Y, and it's not what they thought it was either. And once they get to Y, they say, shit, okay, well, I guess I need to achieve Z now in order to feel happy and accomplished. And what happens is they just keep moving the target. They just keep moving the goalpost further and further out. And then you realize before they realize that it's just a rat race, right? And ultimately, it's that they could have had the happiness fulfillment all along, with just a little mindset tweak here. Okay, so that's why this is important. All right, homework. We already touched on this. I posted it in the group, but we're just completing our reverse engineered business plan, right? So writing out 10, 5, 3, and 1 year goals. And then setting expectations with those around you, right? Your family, your friends, your staff, your teammates. Let them know for the next 90 days, guys, I need you to please support me. I'm going to be super, super hyper focused on this. So I might not be going out with you on Friday night. I might not be going out with you on Saturday night. I might have to wake up early in the morning, which means I need to go to bed early, or I might need a couple of hours during the day, or on the weekends, or whatever it might be, in order to really have some quiet time and focus on this work, because it's super important for my dreams and my goals, that I can get this done. That way I can serve my community, or be a better husband, or be a better wife, or whatever it might be a better business person. Okay, so let them know what you're up to and why. Okay. Also, calculate your lifetime study number. How many months do you have left to live? And what's your why? Why do you want to be successful? All right, so post all your homework pieces inside the group in the following format. Your 10-year goal, 5, 3, 1, the crucial conversations you've had, how many months you have left, and your why. And then, of course, whoa, lost it. And then, of course, post hashtag week 1 homework. That way, Donovan and I can just search for it easily and find it. All right, guys. That's all we've got for you. Here we are. We are 54 slides deep. I told you we were going to go deep into this mindset stuff. You guys have access to these videos literally for life. All right. What we'll actually do is replace the videos with updated, improved versions every single time we launch this new boot camp. So you guys are always going to get the most, up-to-date version of these slides and this video content. But you will have it for life, so you can always circle back to this if you're ever feeling like you're in a funk, or you're not motivated, or you just need a little nudge or a little spark to kind of get that fire going again. You can come back to this week, or next week, or week 3 when we talk about time management. Whatever it is, you guys can always come back to it and use that as a resource. All right, so I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. I had a pleasure doing this video with you and for you, and looking forward to the next content. All right, you guys have an awesome day.